Hey, it's good to host. It's good to play well. In the first game, which we did, we followed the game plan to perfection. We struggled some in the second half. In the second quarter, but some of that was because Wright State played very well. The team we're playing today, they know they've got a new lease on life because I've got so much film on them, and I've watched them all year just thinking this was a team that I really didn't want to play because they play with 5 seniors. And Rice was able to take them completely out of their tempo and give Rice a lot of credit. They probably won the ball game for 37 minutes, but when 5 seniors take over at the end, they definitely look like the better team and made better decisions. Give them credit. When you look at their RPI, they're in the Big East. Their RPI is higher than ours, mainly because they played at Miami, Michigan, at Mississippi State, Green Bay, Notre Dame, 3 games with DePaul. They played the schedule that a senior team should play. She's rolling the dice with a senior class. I would be doing the same thing. They've been to 3 or 4 straight NCAA tournaments. She's doing an excellent job. Now, what type of game are we going to see tomorrow? If we go into this game knowing that we wanted to try to run Wright State out early, which we did in the first quarter, if we try to do this with Marquette, that feeds right into what they want to do. So we have to have a little bit change of a attack. They do a very good job defensively of sagging, switching 1 through 4, and their post player takes a lot of flops or charges, if you will. So we've got to be aware of that. This is a team that would be very similar to LSU or Mississippi State defensive-wise, where they want the charges and the flops. They will send 4 to the offensive boards a lot of times because they're that good on getting back in transition. And if you score on them, they're going to take that ball out of that net. They're going to come right back down. They're going to be shooting a layup on you on the other end. And so the score is 2-2. You've scored, they're going to come right back before you can get back. So to me, who they're similar to in our league would be Kentucky. If you remember our last game at Kentucky, when we ran Kentucky out in the first quarter, we got in and started trying to run Kentucky out of their own gym, and we were behind by 1 at half. And that was just we got totally out of control. Yes, we want to get it inside. Yes, we want Carter and Wells to go off. Yes, we want to play our good defense and hold teams to the percentages that we've been holding them to in the SEC. That's what we want to do. But 40 minutes, you're going to see a great ball game tomorrow. So that's the opening.
Questions for Coach? Cease.
Robert Sessom, Bryan College Station Eagles. So what's going to be the key to your perimeter defense? You talked about the Kentucky matchups. You were able to take Morris out of a lot of games, but they have more than one guard as well. So what's going to be the key for your perimeter defense?
Their senior, their left-hander, I'm going to butcher her name, number 5. How do you say it? Heidemann. She's as good as a speed kid, that very similar to, say, Danbury of Mississippi State. But Danbury could do it more if she was playing on a team that didn't have an aircraft carrier in there and 2 good post players like Mississippi State. But Danbury is that quick one-on-one, or Cooper from South Carolina. This is how good Heidemann is. She's very left-handed, very good. She'll still beat you. You try to take away the left, she'll go further left, and she can still get off her shot. Or just about every one of their starters are shooting 40% from the three. I don't think they're going to miss the shots that they did, because we're not going to slow it down like Rice. But we've got to pick our times when to run. Rice did a great job of saying we're going to play a 10-second offense at the end of each shot possession. That's not us. First, I don't think we're disciplined enough to play that type of offense anyway. So perimeter defense, it's not just one, it's not just her, it's all of them. They all have played so well together for so long. That's what you fear when you play a senior, junior, senior laden team. They've got no fear, because they know they can come back at any time like they did against Rice. 9 down, under 3 minutes to go.
Kristen.
You mentioned how y'all struggled in the second quarter yesterday. What do you think will be the key to being consistent, more consistent throughout the whole game tomorrow?
It would have been hard to duplicate the first quarter. Okay. Sense of urgency, sense of awareness. We have struggled just about the whole year in the second quarter. Sometimes when we've had that good half, then it's the third quarter. But it's generally not the first or the fourth, thank heavens. But the second quarter, either due to foul trouble or bad decisions, or the other team wakes up and starts playing like they're capable, it happens. We've got to play an IQ game in this game because of how good they are, what they do. We gave up 20 offensive boards yesterday, and we're looking at Marquette. They're going to go to the offensive boards, because when they shoot threes, and if they do miss, it's going to be long rebounds, just like Wright State. Our guards were not, even though we had a 9 and a 7, 16 boards, but how many times did our guards not block out? A number of times. We have to do a better job, and our post players were getting pushed underneath way too far, because the other team really didn't have a post game. So we've got to push them out past that little circle instead of waiting for the ball just to roll off the rim. We'll work on that today in practice.
In the back, Mike.
Coach Mike Lucas, KAGS. How important is Sierra in tomorrow's game? I know yesterday wasn't necessarily her best performance of the year, but how do you like her matchup against Marquette?
I like her matchup if she can keep from making offensive fouls. This is what this kid does well. Okay, we've seen it in the SEC. She's got to learn to chin and check instead of sometimes just roll, because this kid's going to take a flop, or she's going to take a charge. And guess what? If a charge is called, it's her favor. If a flop goes down, there's no penalty. So sometimes even when you flop and you go down, the offensive player still misses the shot, or at least you don't get into foul trouble. So, like I said, this is going to be very similar to LSU and Mississippi State. Both teams take a lot of charges. What we've got to do is make sure we avoid those. The first time we played LSU, they took 5 on us. The next time we played LSU here at home, they took 0. But you only got one chance with Marquette.
In the back, and then we'll come back up to the front.
Jessica Grunling, KBTX. Like you said, this team, a lot of seniors from Marquette, but you guys have gotten past a second-round game when they haven't before. So how much does that experience maybe help you over their more senior experience?
I think it helps us if we can put 5,000 or 6,000 in there. That's what I want for Sunday afternoon with no football going on. Hopefully Jimbo doesn't have a practice tomorrow afternoon. But I hope that the fans will come out. Our experience versus their experience, that's a wash. Our home court advantage is pretty doggone good here. We play to the crowd, and we play for A&M. And that's what I want to be able for us to sense there, that sense of urgency, and say they're playing to get back to Chicago and go to a Sweet 16 and have a sellout against probably Notre Dame if they get there. We're playing to keep surviving, represent the SEC, A&M, and where we should be. If you're at home, you should be the favorite. And not much of a favorite, because this will be the best 4 or 5 game that's being played tomorrow.
So what are you going to need for your bench? Second game in three days, and they play a couple of girls off the bench, decent minutes. So what about your bench in this game?
They played 3 girls 40 minutes, played another one 39, and then they had 1 kid off the bench play 30. So we'll probably be the same way. But I went to my post early yesterday because I was not getting much rebounding out of Sierra and Indy early. I wanted to get their attention. I think I did. But at the same time, I've got no fear about putting a sub in. Particularly if they get us in a transition game, I've got to rest some people somewhere during the game. And how you rest people is get to the free throw line. You get to the free throw line like we did yesterday, 35-7? That's pretty good. But this team will be a lot smarter defensively and will not foul us as much.
In the back, Mike.
Coach, in a game that could get up-tempo with them liking to run, you liking to run, is Sham kind of the key to controlling the tempo?
She was yesterday. She loves the open court. Sometimes I've got to get both wings to run with her when she takes off. And I'm trying to get Kennedy to be one of those wing runners. She's used to running when she has the ball. She needs to run the wing when she doesn't have the ball to get the open 3 or the drive. And yesterday, a couple times, I think she ran it pretty well. A couple of other times, bad habits, she didn't run it. I want her to run it every single time. She should be well rested after a couple of weeks off.
You mentioned that Kennedy played very well yesterday. Can you just talk a little bit more about her performance and how she looked?
She's learning how to take the ball to the rack and avoid the charges. She's doing a great job of body control, trying to throw her body away because she knows that's what other teams are trying to do. When she gets hot from the 3, you keep feeding her, no matter where she's at. But the best part of her game is her passing. Her ability to find Sierra down there on a one-on-one situation, or find Kayla on the wing, or reverse the ball to Sham. That's the strength. She breaks it open with her penetration. And we're going to have to see, because I imagine Marquette is predominantly a man-for-man team, but they have played some jump defenses, which I imagine we're going to see some of that, because when you're a veteran team, you've got the IQ team also, so that you might see some triangling too. You might see some boxing one or denial back to Kennedy. You might see a packed-in zone and play hope they miss defense, because it's hard for us to shoot as well as we did from the 3 yesterday. But remember, half of those 3s we were wide open.
You had discussed the expectations here, and obviously winning is important, but also competing for championships. So what would it mean to get back to the Sweet 16 for this team?
I've said before, Christy, this whole team has sort of played this year with a chip on our shoulder because of the no respect card, and consistency is just a trademark of A&M and tradition and all that jazz. But we played with a little bit of a chip on our shoulder, and I have as a coach. Whether that's good or bad, I think my staff has prepared well. We want to prove some people wrong. Even around this town, we want to prove some people wrong. We can win with whoever we put a uniform on out there. We can coach them up, and to get this team to the Sweet 16 would validate what we've done ever since I've been here. We compete for championships. And if you look at the history, we've gone against Notre Dame quite a bit since 2011. And we'd love to have one more crack at it if they win their match and if we could get there. But Marquette is a team that would be very similar to when we played UALR at Arizona State a few years ago, and we got beat in the first round there. Well coached, disciplined, had a great guard out there that lit us up. What we've got to do is make sure that it's not a one-person team like Heidemann that can come in and just take over a ball game and balance Kennedy out. We've got to stay out of foul trouble. I've got to make good decisions. I've got to add a few tweaks in my practice today, but not much. We've got to play off that famous player that nobody's ever stopped her, and that's called Miss Momentum. And that's the one that I would like to be able to play tomorrow. Whether it's Kennedy, Kayla, Sierra, Indy, Sham, or some new kid off the bench, it's going to give us something. But when you get that momentum going, it's pretty special.
Got time for one more.
Christy Reekin from the AP. Kennedy, I know y'all were really happy about the first quarter, but are y'all looking for more consistency after only scoring 11 points in the second quarter yesterday?
I mean, today's a new day, so we're going to get to practice. We're just going to focus. We're not really worried about yesterday. We were about today. We can only control what we can control.
Robert Sessa, Bryan College Station Eagles. Sierra, talk about the inside matchup with Marquette. What do you see? So what do you see there?
They have some physical post players on the inside. Our post players, we're just going to have to catch the ball, chin and check, and then finish strong in the paint.
Caleb, Mike Lucas, KAGS News. I know Marquette's a veteran team. What have you seen from them when you've looked at the tape yet, and what kind of challenges are they going to present tomorrow?
They're a very fast team. We need to get back on defense. We need to take care of the ball because most of their points come from turnovers and just pushing the ball. So we need to get back, focus on transition defense, and take care of the ball.
Christy.
Sierra, after Marquette maybe didn't score as many points as they normally do yesterday, do you expect them to come out kind of hungrier or trying to do more after maybe not performing as well as they wanted to yesterday?
Oh, of course. A chance for playing in the Sweet 16 is on the line. So we realized that, they maybe didn't play their best yesterday. So we're going to get their best. Like, they're amped and they're ready to play. So we're going to get the best Marquette team that we can see. So.
Kennedy, guard-oriented. Do you feel sometimes, Marquette, do you feel sometimes your defense is underrated? And what do you think is going to be the keys to stop their guards tomorrow?
Yes, I do feel like our defense is underrated. I feel like we're a great defensive team. We have a lot of guards that pressure the ball, and we contest a lot of shots. I feel like we make it tough on teams to score at times. The biggest thing with us facing their guards tomorrow is we're just going to have to be smart and just be in the spots and contest all shots. We know they're quick, athletic, and they can get to the rim. We just got to pick and choose what we're going to take away.
Christy.
Kennedy, what's the feeling when you know you have a chance to go to the Sweet 16 again after y'all did it last year?
It's a great feeling. Playing in the Sweet 16 is amazing to me. I know that my teammates will be ready to play, and what can I say? We don't want to go home early. We want to win our last game on our home court, so we're going to bring everything we got.
In the back, Mike.
Yeah, Kayla, kind of along those same lines, with a chance to go to the Sweet 16, do you feel any extra pressure for tomorrow, or is it status quo, same as usual as you get ready for a game?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a little bit of pressure, but I mean, it's nothing that we can't handle. We've played in big games before, and I think it helps that we're at home at a court that we're used to and having the 12th man behind us. So I feel like it takes a lot of pressure off of our backs. I think we're all ready for this game, though. We're excited.
We've been ready.
Go to Christy and then go to Cease.
Kennedy and Kayla, after you guys were able to shoot so well from three-point range yesterday, what do you think will be the key to being able to do that again?
Me and Kayla stay in the gym, so we're going to still be in the gym today. It's going to pay off tomorrow. We work hard on our shots, so think about us as just taking smart shots early. We're not going to settle for the three. I think me and Kayla are going to take what they give us, get to the rim, get some fouls, and get free throws going. That's our biggest thing. We're not set in stone on three-pointers. If they give it to us, they give it to us.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be open as much as I was yesterday.
Yeah.
So when they do close out, I'm going to be driving. So.
Okay, can't have a press conference without the finger question. So you wake up today after playing. Is it was it sore or anything? I mean, come on, we have to ask a question about it.
I feel as if it's a little swollen right now. It's a little bigger than usual, so I would say it's a little sore. Got to get a lot of treatment and recovery. But I'm feeling fine. It's nothing I haven't played through before. It was sore yesterday in the game. I got hit a couple times, and it was a little nagging pain, but I played through it, so I'm sure I'll be fine. Radar is going to get me ready. He's going to get me ready to go.
Probably they have an element they probably don't even want us to know.
Yeah.
Well, Christy.
Kennedy, Coach Blair's talked about how you've grown as a leader over the past year. How do you feel you've kind of developed in that way, and do you take pride in being a leader?
Of course, I want to be a leader on this team. I think that when I got hurt, that forced me to kind of see things differently than I didn't see when I was playing. And I just accepted the role, and I just try to lead my team every time I go out there. I feel like I set the bar. When I play well, I think they all follow, and that's just the biggest thing I try to do is instill confidence in them and just get them to follow my lead.